Was it worth the price?
Whoa, sounds like things got messy in Westeros. House of the Dragon really dug into the fallout from the Rook's Rest battle this episode. Remember that crazy fight where everyone and their dragons showed up? Yeah, well, turns out nearly 1,000 people didn't make it out alive. Ouch. Rhaenyra is definitely feeling the loss. She already had a rough go of things without Daemon by her side, and now losing Rhaenys too? That's a major blow. No wonder she's looking for new people to team up with. Gotta have some muscle when you're fighting a civil war, right? Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Kriston Cole. Let's have a look on episode 5. So the Greens aren't exactly having a picnic either. King Aegon's all banged up and probably not looking his best court appearances. And Daemon, well, he's off declaring himself king at Harrenhal like nobody's business. Dude's really going rogue. This whole Dance of the Dragons thing is getting crazier by the episode.
Visenya.
Vhagar's first rider.
Rhaenyra and his son planning on dragons. But hey, there's a ray of hope for Rhaenyra at the end of this whole mess. Remember how they lost a ton of fighters and a super experienced dragon rider at Rook's Rest? Well, her son Jace just came up with a crazy idea to get back on top. Here's the thing, they might be running low on Targaryens, but guess what they're not running low on? Dragons. We saw a bunch of riderless ones chilling on Dragonstone and Driftmark last season. And there's even sea smoke flying around with no one on his back. Jace basically tells his mom, look, we might not have any more Targaryens to ride these dragons, but there are plenty of folks with Valyrian blood out there. Remember how some of the Velaryons can ride dragons? Blood seems to be the key, not just the fancy Targaryen name. So their plan is to dig through those dusty old books in the Dragonstone library and find some peeps with Valyrian ancestry, guys like Alan, Ulf, and Hugh. They'll basically be like, hey, you want to try riding a giant fire-breathing lizard? Talk about an extreme job interview. There's even a dude on Rhaenyra's council, Lord Baltimos Celtigar, who has that Valyrian blood. So it seems they have both dragons and potential riders. But here's the catch. Letting some random dude bond with a dragon is a huge risk. If they succeed, that person instantly becomes a major player in this whole war. So it's a gamble, but Rhaenyra might just have to take it to stay in the game.
Hour is late. My dragon is hungry. You have no choice but to submit.
Who are the new powerful dragons? Now, let's talk dragons. House of the Dragon is crawling with them, and a bunch are just flying around riderless, causing trouble, or maybe just nap. It's kind of like a free-for-all dragon adoption event in Westeros. The Blacks are especially keen on finding riders for these lonely dragons. Ideally, they want ones that have been ridden before, which makes Vermithor and Silverwing the hottest prizes. Remember Vermithor from the season 1 finale, the big guy Daemon was singing to Underground? Yeah, that's a dragon you definitely want on your team. Or he's the biggest one around besides Vhagar, so he basically breathes fire and wins. Silverwing is another big deal, but she's known for being a bit calmer. Still, don't mess with a giant flying lizard, even if she is having a chill day. These two dragons actually know each other really well. Back in the day, they were BFFs with their riders, King Jaehaerys and Queen Alicent. They flew all over Westeros together, spreading peace and love. Well, mostly. If Rhaenyra can snag these two, she'll be in a much better position to win this whole Dance of the Dragons thing. There are other riderless dragons out there too, like Sea Smoke, who's been chilling riderless this whole season, Sheepstealer, and Cannibal. But those guys are a bit more, well, wild. We'll see if the Blacks manage to tame them, but Vermithor and Silver are definitely the star prizes.
Bend the knee to me, or your house burns.
Daemon and his mysterious plan. Oh man, Daemon really messed things up in the Riverlands. Remember how he was trying to win some allies over there and establish himself as a big player? Yeah, well, things went south faster than a dragon with a tummy ache. The River Lords are all about honor, just like those folks up in the north. So when Daemon rolled into Harrenhal expecting a hero's welcome, he was met with a bunch of frowns and crossed arms instead. Here's the thing, Daemon made a deal with House Blackwood to whack their enemies. House Bracken. Seems simple enough, right? Wrong. Daemon basically said, hey, go get those Brackens, but be kind of sneaky about it. Well, sneaky turned into full-on awful as the Blackwoods started kidnapping women and children. Needless to say, the other River Lords were not happy about this. They basically showed up at Daemon's doorstep to give him a piece of their mind. Now Daemon's got to figure out how to dig himself out of this hole and convince everyone he's not actually a giant jerk. Good luck with that, buddy. This whole situation is going to make it even harder to get these guys on Rhaenyra's side.
Was it worth the price?
Helaena knows everything. Things got messy over at the Greens camp too. King Aegon's all banged up after the battle, and let's just say he's not exactly ready for a photo shoot. Alicent's starting to suspect her son Aemond had something to do with it all, but that slick knight Criston Cole is covering for him. Apparently, Criston thinks Aemond's the tougher Targaryen, fit to be king. The episode ends with a creepy little moment between Aemond and his sister Helaena. She catches him staring at the Iron Throne with a dark look and asks him if it was all worth the price. Now, Helaena has these weird visions sometimes, and it seems like she might have glimpsed what happened at Rook's Rest. She probably knows what Aemond did to get himself closer to the throne, and it ain't pretty. Eek. Looks like there's some serious Targaryen family drama brewing over at King's Landing. Does Aegon recover? Who knew getting roasted by a dragon could be such a bummer, right? Aegon got messed up good at Rook's Rest, but don't worry, he eventually pulls through. He'll be scarred for life for sure, but the guy will be back on his feet eventually. We might not see much of Aegon this season while he recovers, but trust me, he's not done. Even when Rhaenyra takes King's Landing, Aegon manages to escape. Sneaky devil. In fact, he sticks around until the very end of the whole Dance of the Dragons, which is saying something considering how many characters end up 6 feet under. Buckle up, because Aegon will be back to cause more trouble. So this was for today, folks. See you with next video. Till then, bye-bye and take care.
I would make you my heir.
I am blood and fire.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.